How do you see our performance in FY14?
Well, this year, as you know, it's a tough market out there and continues to be that way. Very competitive. But I feel really good about what's happened from an overall results standpoint. Top line revenue up about 6% in a very competitive marketplace, which I think says an awful lot about what we're doing across the whole of the network. I'd say really strong performance in each of our lines of service, which again is very, very positive in a very competitive marketplace. Our assurance practice up about 3%. And given what's going on with competition, pricing, et cetera, really, really great results. In the advisory business, up 10%. Again, recognizing the demand for our services across the whole of the network in both consulting as well as deals. So feel good about that performance. And equally impressive is the tax line of service, up about 8% this past year in a very challenging marketplace. But again, recognizing some of the unique service offerings that we have in the marketplace. So when I net it all out, really good, strong performance across the whole of the network in all of our businesses, and something I think we can all be proud of in terms of the efforts that all of our people really made for FY14 to be a success.
And any specific bright spots or stars that you'd like to highlight and give special credit to?
Well, often you hear comments made about the developing markets, and clearly some really strong performances in our developing markets, whether it be China, India, Brazil, Mexico, for example, all great performances this past year.
So in addition to those economic challenges that we're all facing, we're also experiencing a lot of regulatory pressures. And again, here in Europe, we've seen the regulators being very active. Do you think that we as a firm are well prepared for some of those regulatory challenges?
Well, I've been in the profession now for 40 years, and I have to admit, this is probably the most challenging regulatory environment we've ever had to deal with, and maybe not a surprise, right? I mean, coming out of the financial crisis, we see regulators all around the world, not just here in Europe, but all around the world, really focused on what types of changes need to be dealt with, to stem potentially another crisis that we experienced over the last 5 years or so. So not a surprise to see what's happening, and certainly not unique to our profession. How are we prepared for that? I think we're on top of it. I think we're addressing the issues around whether it's mandatory firm rotation, restriction of services. We're really focused on hopefully making the right decisions that are in the best interest of not only our firm, but our clients. A lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of focus being devoted to what we need to do to make sure that we're doing things that make the most sense for the longer term.
So let's go back to some of the accomplishments that we've made this year, and in particular, the acquisition of Booz & Co. strategy. And how do you see us operating together under one umbrella?
Well, first off, I'm really proud of what we were able to accomplish with that acquisition. To me, this is all about talent and responding to what our clients are asking for. We saw in a number of instances that many of our clients were looking at the challenges that they were facing, many of them stemming from the mega trends that we've talked about over the last 18 months or so. Not only understanding the implications of those mega trends to their strategy, but how to help those companies really, address and deal with, the issues coming from that. So we see, that part of the business being totally redefined, clients wanting to go all the way from strategy right to execution.
So consulting is getting a lot of attention and a lot of investment money from PwC. In your view, are we paying enough attention to our core business of assurance?
Well, we often talk about consulting, advisory, and sure, it's an important part of the strategy and what we're trying to do. But our core businesses, whether it's assurance or tax, are the largest businesses of that nature within our profession. And I continue to believe there are just tremendous opportunities in both assurance and tax to continue to develop those service offerings to make sure that they're responsive, and relevant to the marketplace. And from that, I think, is going to come outstanding growth in those lines as well.
Thinking about the future of the firm, I strongly believe that our success is based mainly on two things: our powerful brand and the talent that we employ within the organization. How do you see our ability to continue to recruit and keep our most talented people?
Well, I mean, I think you said it well. I mean, the only asset we have in this institution is people and our talent, and therefore, you know, continuing to not only attract the very best from around the world into PwC, but also continue to retain and develop that talent is absolutely a critical priority, and very much focused on that. What we're doing with our development activities, you know, making sure that we create an environment where people can really be successful in this firm.
Dennis, thank you very much.
Thanks, Olga. Great to be with you.